Hey guys, today we're taking a look at one of MVP's flagship drivers. It's the Axiom Insanity. Now the Insanity is a fairway driver with the numbers 9, 5, -2, 1.5. And I have a lot of history with the Insanity. It was one of my first ever drivers back in the day when I just started disc golf in 2020. It was Cosmic Neutron. I absolutely loved it, threw it all the time. This is a Proton one that I just got a couple weeks ago, and I've been reliving all the magic of this disc. It's a mold that I kind of forgot how much I loved until I went back and tried it again. So really excited to share that with you guys today. So we're gonna take this guy in the field, then the course. Let's jump into it. All right guys, here we are in the field with my old flame, the Insanity. Also, just side note, this Insanity with the white rim, blue core, the Proton plastic, that is an absolute beauty. I'm loving that. Matches my shirt here in the video, so that's always a plus. The flight on this disc really surprised me. Like I said, I used to throw the Insanity a lot, but that was a while back. I haven't touched one in at least a year, and the amount of understability is fantastic. It's more understable than I expected it to be. A lot more understable than those like 9.5 -1.2 type discs like the Undertaker or the CD1. You can see here I got this one pretty high in the air accidentally, and it still had a ton of turn even though I threw it a little bit nose up. But the great thing about it is that it's understable without being ridiculously understable. You can see here I'm throwing the Virus. We're also going to compare it to the Wrath, which are like the two Axiom discs on either side of it in that 9-speed lineup. The Virus I've been bagging for a couple months now since I did a review on it, and it's just like crazy understable now, especially since I beat it in for that amount of time. It's a roller every time if I throw it flat. I really need to get on hyzer to get any sort of real flight. And then you have the Wrath that's actually pretty overstable, a lot more so than the Insanity. So it's nice that the Insanity has a different flight than both of those. Like there's not a lot of overlap between the Virus, the Insanity, and the Wrath, but they have very similar hand feels. You can see here I did this little slow motion. You can see it comes out in a little bit of hyzer and flips up to flat so quickly. And then we're gonna see the full flight here. Even though it was on a little bit of hyzer, you get a ton of turns still. It's really cool because you can get a lot of distance very easily, but you also don't really have to worry about it being a roller in the same way that you do about the Virus. So just kind of a cool thing that you can bag all three, get very different flights, but very similar hand feels because those rim widths are extremely similar. So right off the bat, I'm liking this disc. It's not as straight as I thought it would be. Like it's not gonna be replacing my just straight fairway driver slot, but you get that almost like distance driver type flight where you get a lot of left to right movement, you get the S-shaped flight, but you don't have to throw it hard, and it's very forgiving with the nose angle. The glide is high. In general, I think this is going to be a fantastic like first driver for newer players who want to explore the higher speed disc. This is a fantastic choice because of that turn and the glide, but still has the integrity to come back at the end. And for bigger arms, it's going to be a really nice turnover disc. So it's nice that the Insanity is the type of disc that you can do a lot of different things with, and it's really going to fit into everyone's bags, regardless of your skill level or your play style. If you want to pick an Insanity up, why don't you go check out this video's sponsor, Grow and Throw. Grow and Throw is a retailer here in Columbia, Missouri. You can also find them online at growandthrow.shop. They have a really nice selection of MVP, Axiom, and a bunch of other brands. So if you're looking to buy a disc, go check them out. We're done in the field. Now let's go hit the course and see how it flies on some actual holes. All right, guys, here we are at Harmony Bends. We're gonna start off with this 342-foot backhand turnover to the right. There's OB long. I really like throwing the Virus here because you can start it on a lot of hyzer and it'll still flip all the way up and over. The Insanity being a little more overstable, I'm curious how it's gonna handle this hole. I'm thinking we're just gonna try to put it out pretty flat, see how much turn it gets, and see if it does come back at the end. Oh yeah, a lot of turn there. It's looking good. Yeah, and it comes back at the very end. I feel like whenever I throw the Insanity, it's always a little more understable than I expect it to be. Like I feel like it fits really nicely between that straight slot in your bag, maybe like a Crave, and the really understable slot in your bag like the Virus, but might not necessarily be the go-to straight disc or the go-to understable disc. Kind of a weird spot in the bag for me. Oh, go. Didn't give it a chance. Now, when I say weird slot in my bag, that's not necessarily a bad thing. And I think it's gonna be really good on this hole. This is an uphill shot where you want something a little more on the understable side just to get that full flight when you're throwing up into the air. This is a par 4. Our goal is just get as far as we can past the crest of the hill here. Look how quickly that flipped up the flat. Really glidey flight, fantastic for this hole. So that put us in a great spot. We got this corridor here, basket at the end of it. I'm going to approach with the Pixel. Pretty good, just sit. I think I'm going to like that one. There we go. All right, guys, we're jumping over to hole 7. Today we're gonna play it from the long slabs, so I feel like the shorts are just too short for the Insanity. So I think we're just gonna try to keep this pretty flat and hope that I don't turn too much. Granted, with that downhill angle, it's gonna be a little more understable, but we're just gonna see how it goes. There we go, flip up. Didn't flip all the way over. Yeah, we're gonna be pretty left of the pin. That's still a pretty good shot. Got down there pretty well. So we ended up just like deep circle 2, left of the pin here with the Pixel, as always. And now we're going to jump to hole 18, par 5. Tons of OB on this hole. River all to the left that we're gonna have to cross a couple times. I really don't want to lose this disc. Really want to bag this, but we'll see how it plays out. Look at that flip. The understability is saving that Insanity. Heck yeah. All right, so the basket, you might be able to see kind of to the right of your screen. It's got the yellow band on the top. There's really not a good route to just get there directly because we got a wall of trees here. I think I'm gonna try to do an anhyzer out and around to the left and pray that I don't end up in the creek. And it is extremely muddy in here, which does not help my odds at all. Oh, shoot. Slipped on that guy. Hey. I think we almost made it over there. So we're in the gully, not wet, not in the water, so technically out of bounds in like a tournament setting, but you know, it's either a par or a birdie, depends on how you look at it. Well, guys, that does it for the Insanity. What a mold. I really, really like this one. I hadn't touched one in a long time. I'm really glad I've come back to it because it's definitely going to go on my bag. It's not really straight. Definitely doesn't replace my just straight flying fairway driver. Right now I'm bagging the FD, but like the Crave or the Servo, it's not really going to be replacing those because it's a little more turn than those discs. It has more of that S-shaped flight. So kind of a unique disc, pretty cool. I think that the numbers are spot on. The feet of flight, it's 9.5, -2, 1.5, because you get that turn, but you still get a little bit of fade at the end. Great disc, guys. Definitely one I highly recommend. So if you haven't already, go like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And go check out this video's sponsor, Grow and Throw, growandthrow.shop. And as always, see you guys next time.